morning. I hope everyone is well today. Still have 1 minute till 9 o'clock. It's gonna give, oh, it's 9. So I posted prior to, about an hour ago, I posted saying that I would be going live from my potting bench. And I had every intention of doing that. And while I was setting up all of my fancy equipment, my mic and my tripod and all these things outside, it started raining on me. Thankfully though, while all that was going on, the Wi-Fi guy shows up and he ran a temporary line from where the county had torn it up in the first spot. There's like several spots. He just ran a temporary line, had it fixed in 30 minutes. And so about 8:45, he comes to my front door, yoo-hoo, and he's like, you should be up and running again. Just a temporary line, and then somebody will come out in a couple weeks and tend to the actual situation. I don't know what all things they're going to be doing, but so the weather and the Wi-Fi guy made a liar out of me, but that's okay because in this crafting business, sometimes you have to be a little flexible. So that's what I'm going to be today. I'm going to be flexible and just go with the flow. Right now I have a dog at my feet crunching on a peanut in the shell that got dropped. PW, can you please go? Go on. Go on. Can you put him outside, please? So, anyways, I really wanted to do a garden craft with y'all because I've been working so hard on getting my garden ready, but I want it to be like fancy with cute little decorations and stuff. And so we will be doing some of that, but not today because it's raining and it's just not a good day to be out there, unfortunately. I still have one garden bed that I need to get back up and running, you know, get all of my goodness worked into it and plant some seeds. I'm direct sowing a lot of my stuff. I did plant tomato seedlings, but other than that, everything else is I'm just direct sowing into my gardens, and that's just how it's gonna go this year. You know, that's just how I'm gonna go. Good morning, Miss Sherry. Good morning. So I'm just direct sowing seeds into my garden this year. So thankful to have the Wi-Fi back in my house, though. That guy came in the nick of time. You know, God's an on-time God, and he worked it out to where I could be indoors doing a craft, even though I wanted to be outdoors doing my garden decorating, but it's raining, and what can you do? I can't control the weather, and it's spring, and everything outside needs that wonderful rainwater. There's just nothing like rainwater for the plants outside. Like, nothing, you can water with your hose, and it'll, you know, it does good, but rainwater is always just magic for that. So our inside craft today, a little switcheroo. So a couple weeks ago I had made this vintage style scale, and I'm in absolute love with it. In person it looks so good, and I want to do another one, but I want it to be bigger and a different style. So I have an empty canister of coffee beans. This is just from Coffee Beans. You could use an old canister from like lemonade or oatmeal, or just, you know, just those little cardboard canisters, okay? So this is what I'm using. And then I got just this little block of wood from Dollar Tree. I just picked it up because it was available and I didn't want to bother my husband to cut me a piece of wood since I was already bothering him to do so many other things because it's gardening time. So I gotta kind of pick and choose there. So I got this piece of wood and this is gonna be my base. Got that. Then these little metal, these are a Dollar Tree. Comes in a 2-pack. So 2 of these for $1.25. Okay. One is small and one is big. And I'm going to be using the small one for my scale face. Okay, you can see fits right over that. I printed this at 8 inches. This is an 8-inch scale face, okay? The little one I did up there was 4 inches. So this is quite a bit bigger. And then the bigger one is going to sit on top just like this, okay? Just gonna, and then that like that. And we're just gonna see, oh, this is a tube that came out of like the mesh that you use for making wreaths. Anytime there's like a good solid tube that's not like out of the paper towels or toilet paper, something a little bit thicker, I really like to save them because I know I'm gonna need them. So as you can see, this is just a little short. And on the bigger scales, it always had like a little tubey thing for the scale to go up and down. So I'm just going to cut this a few inches in, and hopefully I have a way to do that. I think I do. Okay. And then, and we'll get all that going. Hey, but you know what I did forget that I'm going to need, Lily? Would you please go in the back room and get me my hot glue gun? Thank you. And the bag of hot glue, because I can't do much with a hot glue gun and no hot glue, right? So I'm just gonna go ahead and get started painting all of these things. I'm gonna wipe that off though, because that's a little funky, because this is just trash that I saved. My husband is very excited to have a wife that saves her trash instead of throwing everything away. But hey, listen, I make beautiful things with our trash, okay? And I think you can even peel off this label, maybe. I might be making this harder than, no, it comes right off. And I'm just gonna peel it off because that's gonna make it easier to paint. And this coffee smells so good. This canister, this coffee canister smells so good. Did you collect eggs? Ooh, let's see. Bring it here, and I'll show everybody all the eggs we got collected. Look at that. Tons of eggs this morning. A whole scooper full. We're very high tech around here with our egg collecting methods. Okay, so I'm going to start with this. Shake up my paint. This is Waverly chalk paint. It's the white one. It's plaster color. Maybe. There we go. I got it. My hands are so sore from doing all the things. I don't think I have them. I don't have them. They must be in the back room somewhere. Oh, they are. Okay, I do have them. Thank you. Okay. And we will just keep on going. The girls couldn't find the hot glue sticks, but apparently I was the one who had them in the first place. Oopsies. I sent them on a wild goose chase. All right, and I'm just gonna go ahead and get my layer of paint on here. And this might take a couple layers. We'll see. I'm going to get it on here pretty good though. And then we'll see what we gotta do to make it look nice, to get it the way we want to get it. So I am super sore today, and I went to church last night. Everybody thought I was on my deathbed because I didn't go to church yesterday morning, which is not like me, and then I showed up yesterday evening for church, and I was just like in sweats, no makeup. I had showered, it didn't blow dry my hair, so my hair was just like super flat and sad. And people were like, "Are you okay? Are you sick? Is something wrong?" I was like, no, I was just gardening all day. And so the thing is, I've had this one garden bed for a few years now, and or even longer than that, I don't know. But so as we all the gardeners know, that wood that you're building your raised garden bed out of does not last. Okay, it just does not last. The moisture and the elements, it eats that wood up, right? It just eats it up. And so last year, my husband removed the boards, and probably wasn't the best move at that point, just because we had not budgeted to put new boards right away. And so the year went on, and my purchased soil pile eroded down, right? Because the rain comes and it washes the soil down, right? Standard erosion, okay? If you know anything about, like, we live on the coast, and so we know a lot about erosion. Just there's always talk about the beach eroding and everything getting washed into the ocean. And you know, they always want our Christmas trees to build up the sand dunes and everything. And so we went all year with that soil washing down all around and spreading it out. And so yesterday, and a little bit the day before, because I'd worked on another garden bed the day before. So by the time I got to that garden bed, there wasn't much time left in the day. But I had to scoop up all of that dirt and like push it back up onto the mound. And we purchased cinder blocks to just go around it, because that's a forever solution, right? That's not something you're going to have to replace. Excuse me. And so I don't know if you've ever picked up a cinder block, but they are extremely heavy, like so extremely heavy. When I was a kid, we had cinder blocks. I remember using cinder blocks for different things when I was a child. And I do not remember them being that heavy. But goodness me, they are so extremely heavy for me at this point. And granted, just a few weeks ago, I had thrown my back out. So my body is still recovering from that. And I had to scoop that dirt and put it back in place, and then I put all those cinder blocks around it, and then I had to get, you know, all of my stuff into the soil to amend the soil, because these are my asparagus beds that I'm working on, and asparagus eat up the nutrients in your soil. And so so I had to do quite a bit of work to that one bed, and I still have a whole other bed to do. Thankfully, that one still has the boards somewhat. It is going to need the sides fixed on it here pretty quick, but I can at least get my stuff planted. So in my asparagus bed, it's not just asparagus, right? Because asparagus has a lot of companions that you can put in there each year. And so in my asparagus beds, yesterday it got some basil planted, some cilantro, some spinach, some holy basil, which I'm excited about. Tulsi is another name for it, another name for holy basil. And it is like, if a kid is asking you what they can take to be healthy, just to have like good health overall, the answer is Tulsi. The answer is holy basil, okay? So holy basil, you can tincture it, you can have it as a tea, you can just sprinkle it into your food, just get it into your body, because it is so good for you. And I mean, obviously do your research, make sure that it's good for you, because just because something's good for most people does not mean that you're not going to have an allergy or something to it. So always check with your doctor. I'm not a doctor, and even if I were, I might not be your doctor. So check with your people, do your due diligence, and make sure that before you put anything in your body that it's good for you. But Tulsi is one of those plants, one of those plant allies that I just really love to have access to. So I planted. Now, is it going to grow? I've had these seeds for a little while now. The seeds may or may not germinate. I don't know. But if they don't, I'm going to be very sad, because I really want some Tulsi. So I got my base painted. Now we're going to move on to the face. And go all over this. I could probably sand this first just to get the gloss off of it if I really want to, but I'm not today. I don't even know if I know where my sanding block is. I should have it handy, because I usually like to have it handy, but since we had a birthday party for my husband on Friday, so all of my crafting stuff got moved. I couldn't find anything this morning that I needed. And then I got everything moved outside, and then we had to move it inside. And now I just don't know where anything is in my life. It's okay. It's okay. It's going to be fine. It's all going to work out, right? Nobody panic. That's what I always tell the kids. I always like over exaggerate stuff, and we just laugh because it's funny. But anyways, so I did all that gardening stuff, and I went to church last night, and everybody wanted to know, you know, if I had died and if I was just a zombie being there in service. And I very well may have. I don't know. I might be coming to you from beyond the grave this morning. Oh, because my body is not the happiest with me at this point. But I just think of it as like whenever you first start working out and your body is real sore because it's not used to you moving it like that, or, you know, using those muscles, and then you do use those muscles and you get that, that like acid that builds up on the top of your, on the top of your muscles or whatever that makes it sore. I don't know. Something like that. I used to go to the gym and I had a personal trainer and all that stuff years ago, probably a good 12 years ago. And so I learned a little bit of stuff from that, but this is how my body used to feel back then when I was young and cute and athletic, and I'd be working out and I'd do a different exercise or try a different machine and all that stuff. And so I have the pain in my back, in my tummy muscles, all the things. Moving those cinder blocks. I'm all bruised up. Up and down my arm here. It's fine. I will survive, okay? Famous words of a famous singer, I will survive, okay? It is not the end of the world, though my 40-year-old body thinks it is the end of the world. Nothing but a little bit of turmeric tincture, some Epsom salts in a bath, and if worse comes to worse, some ibuprofen. Some ibuprofen will hook you up and make all things seem not so bad. I just could not believe it. I went to church last night and I already knew going in that people were going to think that I was on my way out, right? That I had some sort of something going on in my body. Mostly because right now, everybody's sick. Everybody has like some sort of respiratory thing or a tummy thing or something thing. And my husband works Mondays, so obviously most husbands work on Mondays, but he goes to work super early, like 4:30, 5 o'clock, typically leaving the house. And so Sunday nights, he does not go to church. And my daughters are in a program at church on Sunday nights where they do assignments and different things. And you work up through the levels of this program. It's like missionettes. People call it missionettes. The name of it is girls ministry, but I believe that maybe it used to be missionettes, or it's just very similar to missionettes. I was not raised in the church, so I'm not familiar. I don't know the history, but I do know that what my girls are in now is called girls ministry. And they have a blast in it. There is homework. It's pretty serious as far as like, you need to do your work. You need to have your memory verses done. You need to be sending in your stuff to the leader. And I love it for them. I love that it teaches them to take their their walk seriously. Oops, I got stuff on my table. I got stuff on my table. That's okay. And so I had to take them for that, and this is not dry. And so it's just picking up that paint. Okay, I'm gonna leave that, and I'm going to cut, whoops, I'm going to cut my little doodad over here. My goodness gracious, I'm a mess today. Just hot mess, wild and crazy today. Oh, and my foot keeps falling asleep. I just stand for a second here. I'm gonna stand for a second and try to get that feeling back in my foot. I'm going to find a way to cut my little tube here. Okay, so I just want maybe like that much. I don't know what that is, like 3-4 inches. There is no razor blade on this side, so that's not helpful at all. I'm going to move this over. I live in a very humid climate, and when on rainy days, things just don't like to dry. So I might need to send a child to get my blow dryer, wherever that may be. I just have like a straight blade, razor blade here, and it did not cut my thing straight at all, but that's okay. I can straighten it out and make it what I need it to be. But you see how strong this is, which is what I like. I like that it's so strong, because it is going to be sturdy, especially if I put something on top of my scale that might have some weight to it. I want the tube to be sturdy for that. Okay, just trying to get that as straight as I can, this little edge, because if it's crooked, then my top will be crooked. So I really need it to be as straight as possible. Hopefully I'm getting it enough. Just shaving it down a bit at a time. It still had coffee in there. Like coffee crumbs. I need to paint the bottom of this. I didn't want to use that plastic lid. I could have used it, but I don't want to, so I'm not. Okay, so I'm just going to paint this, painting the bottom of our canister, because I'm going to glue it on just like this, and then I'm going to paint this piece as well. Just getting everything coated white here with our chalk paint. And I love this color. I thought about doing it in the green, which would be super cool, as far as like, you know, just that olive green color that is very vintage looking. I do like that. And I might try one not on camera in that color, just to see if I like it. But I don't want to do that on camera, because the thing is, this face tells on me, okay, all the time. It tells on me all the time. It's so mean. So if I don't like something and I'm doing it on camera, it's not going to be very encouraging to y'all to make it, right? Because I'm going to be like, you know, maybe not quite like that. That's an exaggeration. but my face does tell on me. I'm really good at not saying things most of the time. But my face always gives me away. So I just went over this a couple of times because this is actually drying very well. And yeah. Anyways, so yeah, so that's why I'm sticking to the white until I try things out. I like to try things out before I bring it to y'all, because then I know I'm not lying to y'all. Now, sometimes we're experimenting together, and when we do that, I will tell you that we're experimenting together, and that's good too. I think that that's fun. I really should have sanded these. If you do this, you buy the 2-pack of burner covers from Dollar Tree and make this, you definitely want to give them a light sanding before you paint, because that's going to help your paint adhere better. I know that there are some paint, like mediums, you can use to put on first. That's going to help your paint stick, okay? And that would probably work here too. I'm not familiar with it. I am a low technology gal over here in the sticks. I'm so disappointed about the weather though. Not because I don't like the rain. I do love the rain. But I'm disappointed because now I can't show you guys my garden today. That's all right. If it's sunny out on Friday, we will do some things out there then. By the grace of God. Nothing else happens. The county will be like, oh, you know what? We didn't do XYZ. And then they come and rip out my other line. That would not be funny at all, but it would be very ironic. I would be laughing because to keep from crying. I wasn't too sure that the live was going to work out there at my potting bench this morning, but I was willing to give it a go. My husband said he didn't really think that it was going to work because he was at work and he was trying to call me to let me know that the people from the Wi-Fi were coming, and the call wouldn't go through. Like, he was getting some weird message, like, you know, back in the day, it would go, dear, 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 I'm sorry, the person you're trying to call is unavailable, blah, 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 blah. Try the number, or check the number and try again. He was getting a message like that, which is very odd, right? Because normally it would just ring and then go to voicemail or whatever. But it was literally giving him like an error type message. So what I'm doing here is I'm using my paintbrush and I'm going around the image and I'm going to tear it instead of cutting it. I like the look of it being torn rather than being cut. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm working as I go because this has a tendency to dry pretty quickly. So I'm just tearing as I dab with my brush. And then if I have any stragglers of white, I can go back when I'm done and pull them off. But I just want to get most of it off. And then if these things don't dry here pretty quick, I'm probably going to have a child bring me a blow dryer, unless I have it. I might, yeah, I see it down there. I have it. I just assumed that I have nothing this morning because everything has exploded all over my house with all of our crazy shenanigans the past few days. And it's only going to get worse because this week kicks off the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. And we will be there this week for my girls. My 14-year-old has a calf scramble on the 6th, so she'll be doing that. And then my little one shows rabbits, so she's showing 2 rabbits over there. And of course, it's on separate days for each one of the breeds because she has a Flemish Giant and a Dutch. So those are on 2 different days. And then, one other thing. Oh, my 14-year-old will be competing in the floriculture competition. So we just have a ton of stuff going on. And it's a good 45-minute drive from my house to NRG Stadium. So, and that's where all the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo stuff happens, is NRG. So we're going to be driving back and forth day after day after day, all the live long day. Okay, and you see, it looks like this is gonna fit pretty well. If not, we can trim off some pieces, kind of fiddle with it. I'm going to hook us up with this blow dryer because things are still wet and we're needing them to not be wet anymore. All right. Go over this, my blow dryer, my fancy schmancy heating tool. I know a lot of the crafters have some really beautiful items that they work with and some very clearly expensive items. I don't have that in my toolbox yet. I'm not saying that I never will have something better than just a hair dryer. But right now, that's what we have to work with. And remember I was saying about being flexible when you do these videos. This is me being flexible again with just, you know, using what I got. And so, and I think it's important to just use what you have when you're doing crafts, right? This little vintage scale up there, I love it and I think it's beautiful, but you can use other items. Instead of that candle holder, that's the vertical part on there, you could use a vase. You could use, oh goodness, all sorts of things. The scale face, you could use a picture frame. There's all kinds of things that you can use just to make it work. It doesn't have to be the exact things that I use, right? Because a lot of times Dollar Tree runs out of stuff super fast when they get it in. And so I might be able to get something over there that you might not be able to get. Or, you know, if you're in a different part of the country than I'm in, you might have different, cooler stuff, better stuff than I'm able to get, or, you know, maybe just different stuff. And that's okay. Just work with what you got. That's why I'm using this canister, it's what I had. And I wasn't gonna buy like a vase or something when I have something that already works, right? If you don't have one of these canisters, you could totally find a really tall candlestick holder, or you can use a vase or something like that. A tall vase around this size. You have a piece of scrap wood outside, use the scrap wood. It doesn't have to be exact. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be exactly this. Especially you're putting it up on your shelf. People are going to see it from a distance. Nobody's handling it. People aren't playing with it. And it's fine. Okay. This looks like it's good. This looks good. Okay. Got that. That's dry. That's dry. This is drying. I'm going to flip this over though, because the inside was taking longer to dry, and we really want that part dry. Okay. Especially these. The rim. I want the rim to have a good coat, because the back part isn't going to be seen right here, because that's where our face is going, our scale face. But this right here, alright. There we go. So I am not seeing, like, it's not alerting me when people are coming on. And I see the eyeball numbers change. You know, when you do lives, it'll show you how many people are watching. I can see it changing, but it's not showing me. And so I don't know if people are commenting or not. Facebook is kind of messing with me right now. It actually told me the other day that my content is unsafe, and I don't know if it's because I'm using, because I just talk about stuff, right? And maybe some of the words are being caught that obviously I'm not meaning it in a harmful way, but maybe it's like the algorithm is catching it, or they're like AI stuff, you know? And so I need to do some research and figure out why me making my crafts is unsafe, because I would like to fix that so that the algorithm is not angry with me, or Meta, or all those different things. I don't know. I don't know what the rules are, but I'm going to find out. I'm gonna find out what the rules are here and why I'm in trouble all the time. Sometimes you just have to play by their rules, you know, it's their platform, and I'm just gonna play by their rules. As soon as I know what the rules are, I'm gonna figure that out. I'm gonna figure it out. 9:44. Okay, I am running a little bit behind. I like to keep these right around 45 minutes, but this is probably gonna go about an hour. Okay, and are we gonna fit? We're fitting. We're fitting-ish. Okay, I'm just going to do some Mod Podge inside, if I can get it open. Okay, and I just need a little brush here to dab it on in. A little dabble do ya. just to make it stick in there. And I'm not too concerned if it bunches it in any area, because I'm going to do my instant coffee and all kinds of stuff on it, and it's going to look authentic. Okay, I'm gonna push that down in there, slide it if I need to, slide it this way and that way, push it down, get my finger in there, and make sure it's going all the way into the crease. Okay. And then I'm going to smooth out any bubbles. No bubbles. Don't like bubbles. Just be careful that you don't tear your paper, because that makes it hard. But if you did, you can always just like add some stuff to it, you know, to make it a little bit, to make it work for you, right? You just improvise at that point. Here we go. And here, this is what I have in here. I have coffee grunge mixed with Mod Podge. Mine is very watery. If you want to make coffee podge, go to Tracy Campbell's page. It's called My Sweet Home Living. And on the featured, she has a recipe for making your coffee grunge and your coffee podge. And coffee podge is going to be, her recipe is going to be the best that you can use. This is just kind of like, I just used what I had on my hand to make my coffee podge. I was using the coffee grunge and Mod Podge, which Mod Podge is basically watered down glue, school glue. So follow her recipe because she has the best recipe. Once I'm done with mine, I will be using her recipe, and I'll just buy like a big old gallon of glue and make my coffee podge and just keep it on hand. Okay, now I have instant coffee, and I'm just going to sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. Okay, I just kind of want it a little, I want it to have that aged look, right? Okay, and then I'm going to use, well, actually I could just use this one. Just dry it off a little bit. I like to use as little supplies as possible, because doing this week after week, it can get pretty expensive, right? Doing all this stuff. So I like to work with what I got and preserve what I can, so I'm not just blowing through supplies here, right? And so you can see in here, what I've done right here is I just dabbed in a little bit of my Mod Podge. And if you have a bottle of school glue, you can just go right to town with that and just, you know, kind of do that number. And then I just take a pinch of my instant coffee. This is instant coffee from Dollar Tree. Don't use the expensive stuff. I will only buy my instant coffee from Dollar Tree because you go anywhere else and it's $6 or $7, and I'm not gonna pay that when I can get it for $1.25 for this pretty decent sized bottle, actually. And so, and then you just sprinkle it on there, and it's gonna dry and look like rust in there, you know, rusty edges. You can also use cinnamon to really rust it up also. And you would just do pretty much the same thing if you want a different color rest. Let's see. You can bang it around to move things around a bit. You can dab it with your little sponge brush. I'm gonna do one more spot over here. Okay, 2 more spots. That spot wanted to be there right there, so I'm gonna do 2 spots, because that one, if it wants to be there, it wants to be there. I ain't gonna argue with it. And then the one that I was aiming for, and I made that one pretty good size. Because of the size of the scale, I'm wanting to make sure and have my rusty spots proportionate. Okay, so that looks good and old, right? All right, so that's sealed with my coffee podge, and I'm just gonna set that over here to dry, set it to the side. Okay, I'm gonna move these things out of the way a bit so that I can get my hot glue gun that my adorable children brought me. I'm gonna get this going over here. I only have 1 plug available to me because I have this lamp plugged in. So I have to go between my my blow dryer and my glue gun. And so that's gonna heat up for a second, and then once it does, we'll start gluing stuff together. While it's heating up, what we can do, I'm gonna get out my black chalk paint, and I'm just gonna start embellishing things. And I need a little, I'm just using a little fine tip paintbrush here. I'm just gonna use my lid just to get little dabs, okay? I'm gonna start with the base. I'm just gonna go around and hit it to make it look kind of enamelish. I'm gonna go all the way around in lots of different areas with it. As you know, once, when you have enamel anything, it likes to chip, right? That enamel chips off, and you can see the black part underneath. And so that's what we're imitating here. I'm just going all the way around. You're not gonna see all of this, right? Because that face is gonna go on here, but since we're waiting on our thing, we're just gonna do what we can get done. And it doesn't take much to just go ahead and do our little nicks on here. Okay, and that's what it looks like so far. Got little edges on here, and I like, okay. Now, if you wanted to sand the edges before you painted, you could definitely do that as well. Do that. Okay. I'm just gonna go around the edges here, do some that. We're just antiquing it up here now, just playing around, and then once my hot glue gun is ready for us, we will go ahead and glue everything together. Okay, let's set that right there. I'm gonna do this part. Okay. And the hot glue likes to look like welding, which I love. Okay, I'm just getting, right now it kind of looks like a Dalmatian, but trust me, just trust the process, okay? Trust the process. I didn't bother painting on the inside because it's going to be like this, right? Be like that. And I just want to make sure that that's all centered. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Oh gosh. Okay, I'm doing it face down like that. Okay. See how much height that gave us? Now when we do our face, you can really see how good that looks, right? So I'm gonna lay that back flat though, because I don't want the stuff to run, and it will. I'm just gonna go around this. My hot glue gun's probably about ready. And if you wanted to seal this, you can, after you get all of your markings and everything on here. See, I'm just going on the little edges. This thing's old, so it's got quite a few nicks and dings from living a life of weighing stuff, right? Okay. So now I'm just gonna lay that there. I'm going to start gluing things together. All right, we'll see how this goes. Get our welding going. It's gonna look like welding on here, you'll see. You can always go back with your paintbrush and dab it and rustify it with your instant coffee, which would be really cool. Hopefully that's pretty straight. That's pretty straight. Okay. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do this one. It's easiest to work, like if you're gonna go back and do any resting on the hot glue, you might want to do that now. I think I will do some, let's see, trying to not mess up my hot glue, but I also, you know what, I'll use this paintbrush. Use this one right here that we used with just the water to go around this and sprinkle in our, our instant coffee and get that good. Tilt this to the side. Get it good and grungy. We want the grunge here. So this thing's lived a hard life weighing everybody's goods, right? It's rusty, it's old, it's weighed out, it's lunch meat, the different cuts of meat, right? If you wanted to, you could just go right in with your brush into the instant coffee. I'm not doing that this time, but I have in the past. I'm just wanting it to look more spread out rather than quite so globby, if that makes sense. Anyways, so we're super excited to go to Houston. Slightly stressful, you know, even if you've been there before, My daughter did the floriculture last year, and it was stressful last year. It was her first year. I'm still a little stressed about it just because that day I have to be in 2 places at once. I believe my husband will be with us, but I just hate missing anything. You know, that's why I homeschool, aside from, you know, God's calling. But, you know, years of homeschool, you get used to being able to see your kids do literally everything. And, you know, when we went last year, a lot of those kids didn't even have their parent with them. They just had like their coach from their school, which I remember when I was in school, that's all I had too, was the teacher. And that's great. But now that I'm the mom, I'm just like, how could I do that? I don't know. Just my heart, you know, my mama heart. Probably because I've been homeschooling for so long, I've just gotten used to it, you know. I know that that's not the norm for everybody, and I'm not trying to shame anybody because we all, you know, have our own journey. But just for me and mine, I just want to be there for everything. And I know that Dad will be there for he'll probably stay with, gosh golly, I don't know. I kind of want him to be with the younger one, with the bunny, because he's better at like handling the Flemish Giant. That bunny is huge. He's like, I'm going to say probably every bit of 15 pounds. And I can, like, he's hard for me to carry. My husband can, you know, pick him up and all that stuff. For our 9-year-old, that is quite a task. So I'm just gonna go around this right quick so we can get our rust going. And we'll put it all together. I just like to show you guys some different techniques. I didn't do this with the last one. So anyways, my husband, I was thinking he might want to do the floriculture with my older one, but he might have to do the bunny show with my younger one, which will really stink because I want to be there. She's never shown bunnies at Houston before. She's only shown one other time, and that was at our fair in October. And so it's been a good while. So I'm really wanting to be there for that also. And just go around the top with this a bit. All right, now we'll get our top on. Try to center it as much as possible. Okay, hopefully that's somewhat centered. I hope. Okay, now I have to turn this towards me because I want that to be my front. And I'm just going to take this face, and it's still a little wet. If it runs, it runs. I'm not going to fret about it too much. I do need another glue stick here and my glue stick warmer, my hot glue gun. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do this. Okay. And then I'm going to work fast to get this on there. Right, yeah. Okay. Oops. I touched some of my stuff. Oh, and the running looks good, actually. Okay. So, anyways. And we're stuck. We're stuck to the paper. That's okay. Okay. Here we go. Look at that. scale. Isn't it so cute? Look at that. Couldn't even tell that it's not authentic, right? One last thing, okay. This is a makeup brush from Dollar Tree, and this is ink from Dollar Tree. Some people will use the ink oxide, and I think that's great too. But if you don't have it, this works just as good. And I'm just gonna go around and kind of smudge these a bit, just to give them more of a little look here. Just a little bit of a look-see, and I'll probably go ahead and do some more rust spots off camera. I don't want to keep y'all all day, though I would just keep y'all all day, but we're already in over an hour, so I don't want to do that to y'all. But let's do some of this so y'all can see, kind of see, and then I will upload the video to YouTube along with, look at those runs. Those runs look really nice. And then our rust and everything, it's gonna look good. All right, y'all. I will let y'all run. Gotta go to the ag office and pick up our stuff for Houston. So I will see y'all later. Make sure if you want to rewatch the video, check out YouTube, okay? It is Kingdom Acres Homestead with Sandra Waldrop on YouTube, okay? All right, we'll see you later. Bye.